current and regular on paying coupons, then the attention shifts to 2027. How is government preparing towards honoring those principal obligations? Because they are sizable and they will be huge from 2027 and 2028 before probably easing off slightly from 2029 going. So yeah, that is where the next concern will be.
You heard the economist Courage Boti.
Now, Ghana's program with the International Monetary Fund, IMF, is making tremendous progress with fiscal and monetary benchmarks being met. That is according to the Bank of Ghana, as it provides strong indications ahead of the IMF's first assessment of the country's deal in September after the initial tranche was released. Ni Latte has more in the following report.
Next month, the IMF will return to Ghana to assess the implementation of the $3 billion bailout based on the structural criteria set for the end of June 2023. A successful review by the team will clear the way for the disbursement of the second tranche of $600 million of the bailout package. The government is still optimistic, waiting with bated breath to fix the ailing economy, which is biting hard on citizens. The Bank of Ghana, a major institution in this, believes Ghana would pass the assessment. Governor Dr. Ernest Addison believes this is due to its robust measures, which are targeted at increasing reserves and ensuring zero financing of the government's budget.
There are also benchmarks for June and September that we have to meet. We've made a lot of progress on our part of that. Specifically, these are the issues on the floor of net international reserves that we have done extremely well. Instead of drawing down on our reserves as the fund had expected, we have been able to build more reserves, mainly because of the Gold for Reserves program. So this is an area where we have been effective in delivering. We have delivered on the zero financing commitment as of June, and it's continuing.
With this, the central bank anticipates that a successful review will not only stabilize the economy, but also spark confidence in Ghana on the international market. Here is Governor Dr. Ernest Addison again.
Hopefully, the fund is coming into town again sometime in September to reassess. So my expectation is that we would have a successful review. This will be a review of progress on the program. And if that review is very successful, it should help in terms of signaling progress in our macroeconomic management and restoring confidence in our economy. So that's my wish, and that's what I expect to happen over the next 6 months or so. I'm fairly confident, though, from the data that I have seen, that the first review will be successful.
Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, ending Ni Latte's report.
Now, the Gomwa-Nyenyano Traditional Council has called on the Ministry of National Security and other investigative bodies to intervene in an impending demolition operation where more than 5,000 houses are at risk of being demolished by 21st Century Construction Limited. The Traditional Council argues that a portion of the estate extending 1,000 feet from the main Kaswa to Nyenyano stretch does not belong to 21st Century Construction, and thus they cannot proceed with the planned demolition. Nana Ayikwe, the Ankobiahene of Gomwa-Nyenyano, expressed the council's determination to utilize all available means to prevent the demolition exercise and safeguard the affected properties.
Anything within that jurisdiction is not for 21st century, neither is it for Mr. Kofi Asma. 1,000 feet from the road, from the main road, inside to the where his deed starts, it's not for him. Nananum planted a tree there, which signifies that that area is for, as we speak now, that tree that they planted is still at the place where his deed starts from. So 1,000 feet from the road all the way inside is not for him. So all those places he has earmarked for demolition is neither here or there. It's not for him. Unless they tell me he's a thief. Yes, because something that does not belong to you and you go in for it, then it means you are stealing it. So it's not for him. It's not part of the deeds that we made with him. So anything that does not belong to you and you, whichever means you want to take it, it means you are stealing. So that place is not for him. And nobody. So we are appealing to the police administration and regional minister, the regional lands commission, and the district assembly to call him to order that this demolition cannot take place. And if it does, it's going to bring chaos and confusion to the area.
You heard the Uncle Biahine of Gumwa Nyinyano Nana Aikwe.
The Lands Commission is raising concerns regarding the inadequate working conditions of its staff, particularly the lawyers responsible for representing the Commission in legal matters. The Commission has noted that the heavy caseload, coupled with inadequate compensation, has resulted in decreased enthusiasm among lawyers to actively engage in court proceedings. Chairman of the Commission, Alex Quino, is calling for urgent solutions to address this matter and improve the working environment for its legal professionals.
The cases that we have, it's not possible for the commission to be in court anytime the cases are called. Our staff, our legal staff, very small. It is the only aspect of our work that when we engage lawyers, sometimes they don't even turn up. They don't turn up. They look at the conditions of service and say, no, probably it's better to do only bail work at the court, at the district court. So we don't have enough lawyers. That's as frank as it can be. Those who are with us are overburdened. So we are working to see how we can improve not only the remuneration in terms of conditions of the lawyers alone, but over all the staff of the commission. Our working conditions are not very good in that regard.
Alex Quino is chairman of the Lands Commission.
One more person allegedly involved in the stealing of Cecilia Dapa's money at her residence has been granted bail. This brings to 3 the number of people granted bail. 2 were previously granted bail upon consideration that they are lactating mothers. In court on Tuesday, lawyers for the 6th accused person, Job Pomery, applied for bail for him. He is alleged to have acted together with the 5th accused person in the case, Christiana Achab, to purchase a 4-bedroom house at Kokrobite at a cost of 280,000 Ghana cedis from the former sanitation minister's house. The prosecution said investigation into the involvement of Job Pomery did not oppose the bail application. He was granted bail to the tune of 300,000 with 2 sureties to be justified. He's expected to report to the police once every 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the 2 lactating mothers are yet to be released as they have not met the bail conditions.
Residents of Boma in the Tano South constituency in the Bono region are urging the government to urgently rehabilitate the deteriorating roads in their area. Despite the government's announcement of the Year of Roads initiative, the locals are dismayed by the lack of visible improvements, particularly highlighting the dire condition of the Boma to Duaya Nkwanta Road. The road has been mentioned in 3 different budgets annually, but the residents emphasize that no significant progress has been made to address its deteriorated state. Michael Kusibuedu, an opinion leader and chairman of the Parents-Teacher Association of Boma Senior High School, conveyed the frustrations of the community in an interview with City News, warning that they would advise themselves in next year's elections if government fails to heed to their calls.
Boma rules have been captured in the budget for 3 consecutive times. But to date, we don't know what is happening. We don't hear anything from anyone. We are asking Boma man, what have we done to the MPP government? Why am I saying MPP government? Ever since Boma man had given our terms to the MPP government. So we don't know. Mr. President, the road minister, we are asking why, say, we have a document proof that Boma Road is upgraded to the high road status. For the past 2 years now, we haven't seen the contractor on site. Nana Dodankwa Adu. It's a national cake that you are sharing. Nana, where is Boma patch? For we can't give them 2 days or 3 days. We want it now, today. We want them to call the contractor to resume.
What happens if government doesn't heed your call?
Next year is a general election. we will advise ourselves.
Michael Kusibuedu is an opinion leader and chairman of the Parents Teacher Association, PTA, of Boma Senior High Secondary School.
You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, Ghana Revenue Authority Domestic Task Force, they have apprehended 2 managers of some electrical retail shops here in Accra for violating some tax breaches. We'll bring you details on that story shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Ajwapa, what's all this condom business? Oh, I've told her over and over again that she won't get pregnant, and she's still insisting. Oh, isn't she the same person who said we would not have sex till we go out for at least 2 years? For all this time? Oh, and she still can't trust me enough? Ama, when I try to do something small, no, condom this, condom that. So handsome man like me, she probably thinks I have HIV.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner. Condoms are effective for protection against a wide spectrum of STIs and HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
The grand finale of the Literacy Challenge 2023 is here. Congratulations to our top 10 finalists. But the big question is, who out of our top 10 wins the ultimate prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis, a trophy, 6-month supply of Ribby Crunchy biscuits, and the bragging rights as the Literacy Challenge winner for 2023? Support your favorite student and let's promote literacy in Ghana. Tune in live to Citi TV for the grand finale on Saturday, 7th October 2023. Call 0558-973-973 for inquiries. The Literacy Challenge 2023 is powered by Citi TV, supported by 97.3 Citi FM, and is sponsored by the Ghana National Gas Company, Ribby Crunchy Biscuits by M4 Foods, SIC Insurance PLC, Perspectives Ghana Limited, Dex Technology, Alive Soap, and Fortune Rice.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, the youth of Saboba in the northern region are announcing their intention to stage a demonstration over what they say is the deplorable condition of the roads and the Baoba Bridge, which has been taken over by water. The persistently poor road conditions have led to a series of accidents over the years, resulting in tragic loss of lives. One recent incident involved a fatal accident claiming the lives of the district coordinating director and the internal auditor. This has angered the youth in the area to issue notices that on the 25th of August, they are embarking on a massive demonstration to draw the attention of authorities to fix the road. There is more in the following report filed by our northern regional correspondent, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira, and read by Hansen Ajiman.
Each year during the rainy season, the residents and commuters are confronted with the miserable condition of the Saboba Road. Beyond the route's deterioration, the frequent heavy rainfall often leads to the destruction of the Baoba Bridge, making it nearly impossible for people to traverse from one end to the other. In these challenging moments, the residents and those impacted have no choice but to resort to using canoes for transportation along this route. Although the northern region hasn't experienced substantial rainfall this year, the northeast region witnessed a series of rainy days, causing the road to succumb to flooding once again and making the bridge inaccessible. In the past year, BEC candidates from Baoba encountered difficulties reaching the Saboba Center due to this issue, which Citi News reported on, thereby alerting the relevant authorities. This year, the situation has escalated to the point where vehicles are stranded, posing significant hardships on the people of Saboba. Despite repeated assurances from the government, Regarding plans to address the road and bridge problems, no concrete improvements have been observed. In response to this persistent problem, the youth of Saboba have issued a notice to stage a demonstration on August 25. Their aim is to bring the government's attention to the pressing need for urgent road and bridge repairs, while emphasizing their dissatisfaction with the current circumstances.
The purpose of this demonstration is to draw the attention of the government to the bad nature of the Saboba Road, especially the Palba Bridge. For the past years, the bridge have served as a death trap to indigents and users of the road, and school children are unable to access education during the rainy seasons. Businesses are at a stop during the rainy seasons. So we are therefore calling on the government to come to our aid by fixing the Saboba Road and the bridge in particular for us. It has been a worrying issue for some time now, and we, the youth and the opinion leaders of Saboba, are rising to the top authorities, especially the government, to come to our aid so that we can have our road fixed and this problem solved.
Although a contractor was once assigned to the road, for almost 2 years now, the whereabouts of the contractor remain unknown, reflecting a recurring situation. Each year during the rainy season, Saboba's residents must find alternate routes since the Palba Bridge is consistently submerged by water, which usually lasts for over a month. Just last month, on July 27, Citi News evaluated the water level at the bridge. Astonishingly, within a mere 2 weeks, the bridge is already submerged once more.
That report was filed by Citi News' Northern Regional Correspondent Mohammed Aminu M. Alaribira and read by Hansen Ajiman.
The Domestic Task Force of the Ghana Revenue Authority has taken into custody 2 managers of electrical retail shops for alleged violations. The managers, reportedly from Home Base Electrical and Lightning in Achimota and New Lucky Electricals in Agbogba, are being accused of not issuing VAT invoices to customers, which is a direct breach of tax regulations. The ongoing operation to ensure VAT compliance has not only contributed to increasing domestic revenue mobilization, but also motivated the GRA to intensify its action with the aim of meeting its annual goals. Here are excerpts of an engagement between the GRA task force and the detained shop managers.
The issue is not about whether the system is being audited. It is still calculated on the total value that is there. Okay, when we give you the dispensation, we have a format that the invoice or the receipt issue must conform to. Okay, so it's not about whether when there's audit you pay everything. It's about having the element of VAT on the receipts that you issue to us. You understand? Sure. And this is a clear infraction on the 41, section 41 of BPI. So whatever you have by way of defense, you put it into writing when the CID takes it. You understand?
You heard excerpts of an engagement between some task force of the GRA and some detained shop owners.
We'll go to the Ashanti region, where residents have shown appreciation for Asantehene Otumfuo Osei Tutu II's resolute actions in distilling chiefs found guilty of inappropriate conduct. Over the past 2 weeks, Asantehene has taken the significant step of distilling 3 chiefs, including those from Abodom, Eduamwa, and most recently the chief of Ebuontam. The distillment of the Abontam chief has received positive feedback from a diverse group of Ashanti region inhabitants who are commending Asantehene for his proactive measures. Some residents speaking to Citi News believe that such actions will deter other chiefs from engaging in misconduct and promote accountability within their ranks.
I think if Otumfuo has investigated and haven't come out that what they are doing is not right, especially with the Galamsey issue, some of the chiefs are conniving with the people who are involved in the Galamsey, destroying water and so forth, which is not good for the community. So if these are some of the things that some of the chiefs are involving in, I think Otumfuo is right.
But I think what Otumfuo did is in the right direction. I mean, I want him 100,000%. They don't. I mean, how can they do that? It doesn't make sense. I mean, water is life. Man must eat before he survives. And then these very things, you are supposed to be a custodian and you are conniving with crooks, as it were, and telling them, you have no business being a chief there. So I support him.
He has the authority over all those chiefs. So whatever he does, I think it's the right thing he's doing. That was setting a precedent for the other chiefs not to do what they've been doing.
You had some residents of the Ashanti region sharing their opinion on the recent dethronement of some chiefs in the region by the Asantehene.
Now, President Akufo-Addo is urging the Western world to issue a formal apology for the pain inflicted during the transatlantic slave trade. He emphasized that the slave trade, which spanned many years, caused significant degradation to the black race. Speaking at the Open Foundation event in Accra, President Akufo-Addo says such a painful and dehumanizing history should never be repeated and called for an acknowledgement and apology from the Western countries involved in the slave trade.
Let me state that the subject of restitutions must go along with the matter of reparation. No amount of money can restore the damage caused by the transatlantic slave trade and its consequences, which have spanned many centuries. But nevertheless, it is now time to revive and intensify the discussions about reparations for Africa. Indeed, the time is long overdue. If reparations can rightfully be paid to victims of the Holocaust, so reparations can be paid to the victims of the slave trade. And even before these discussions on reparations conclude, the entire continent of Africa deserves a formal apology from the European nations involved in the slave trade for the crimes and damage it has caused to the population, psyche, image, and character of Africans the world over. Caribbean community, CARICOM, has unequivocally announced its demand for the payment of reparations. And I would urge us to engage with our kith and kin from the diaspora and form a united front to advance the cause of reparations.
President Akufo-Addo.
Now, the National Communications Authority, NCA, has initiated a trial phase of digital audio broadcasting, DAB, in Ghana. This landmark step positions Ghana as a trailblazer in West Africa and the fourth in Africa to adopt this technology, enabling radio stations to expand their coverage to cities beyond their immediate vicinity, thereby reaching a broader audience. The trial will commence with 11 radio stations in Accra, including Citi FM and an additional 7 stations in Kumasi, highlighting the transformative potential of DAB. Joe Anoche, the Director General of the NCA, highlighted its capacity to reshape Ghana's radio landscape.
DAB provides good quality audio, supports the provision of value-added services and spectrum efficiency. For example, in this trial, up to 18 existing FM stations in Accra and Kumasi will share one frequency channel out of the VHF band 3, which is 174 to 230 megahertz, and a transmitter in Kumasi and Accra. With the concerns raised about restrictions on authorized coverage area for FM stations, we will be testing the possibility of extending coverage with DAB. Accordingly, in this trial, stations in Accra will extend their coverage to Kumasi and vice versa. Additionally, because the frequency used in DAB is different from the one used for FM, both services will run simultaneously. That is simulcast.
You heard the Director General of the National Communications Authority, Joe Anoche. Minister for Communications and Digitalization, Esla Owusu-Ekufo, also expressed government's commitment to embracing technologies that enhance connectivity.
Throughout the years, Ghana's unwavering commitment to embracing digital innovation has propelled us to the forefront of digital transformation on the continent. And our government, through its Digital Ghana Agenda, launched in 2017, has instituted projects and programs geared towards bridging the digital divide and ensuring digital inclusion for all sectors of the economy. We in the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization have been focused on crafting and shaping policies that not only facilitate the creation of information and communications technological infrastructure, but also drive the development of services that foster economic competitiveness. We continue to implement innovative digital infrastructural and skills development projects such as the Rural Telephony and Digital Inclusion Project. And I can't resist it. The Girls in ICT Initiative to make ICT accessible to all Ghanaians and demystify it, encouraging and empowering young girls and women to pursue careers in the ICT sector.
Eslowusu Ekufu is Minister for Communications and Digitalization.
A new patriotic party presidential aspirant, Joe Gatti, has been actively seeking the support of special delegates in the Savannah region ahead of the new Patriotic Party Special Delegates Congress. Scheduled for August 26, the Congress aims to choose 5 out of 10 presidential aspirants to contest the main flag bearership election in November. With their track record, including his role as an Attorney General during the President Kufuor administration, Joe Gatti accentuated his long-standing dedication to the party since 1992, asserting his suitability for the delegates.
The party needs somebody who understands the party. I'm not running as an independent candidate. I'm running as a refugee candidate. So the party needs somebody who has the party DNA in him. And I told them that from 1992, I've been part of the party. I was part of the group of 5 who wrote the Stony Verdict after the 1992 election. And that group was headed by our current president, President Kufuor. The other members were Alex Kwenu, Philip Addison, and my wife, Ifo Gatti, and myself. 2009, when we were changing the constitution to open it up, I chaired that session at large. And between that, I've been a member and chairman of several committees of the party. And so I believe that the time has come that the party needs somebody who has the party's DNA in him to be a leader of the party. What does a party stand for? We talk about freedom, we talk about development. A party needs somebody who believes in the private sector, business-oriented person. I don't believe in the state becoming large and creating jobs for people. I believe in the state creating the enabling environment for people to be able to create their own businesses.
Mr. Gatti further says his experience in governance puts him in a better position to transform Ghana.
I told them that I have experience in governance as well. I've been Attorney General. Kufuor's Attorney General, President Kufuor used his Attorney General in every sector. As Attorney General, there was no sector that did not come to my attention. From sports, when they came to 2008, to oil and gas, to minerals and mining, when we were trying to expand the aluminium fields, to agriculture. Everything passed in front of the Attorney General. And as a result of that unique opportunity, I got a better ISB of government. And I also had the opportunity to serve as a minister within the railway sector. And I showed them what I did as a minister. The fact that the railway line has reached Ipakadan, which is about 90% complete. Once the railway line has reached Ipakadan, then you can have hope in Savannah that we can come by water to the upper Okupe and continue the railway line to the north. I have the experience of the party. The party is in me and I'm in the party.
Joe Gatti, flag bearer aspirant, New Patriotic Party, NPP.
Now, the Single Man Contractors Association has expressed strong dissatisfaction with the Ministry of Roads and Highways for what they consider a complete disregard for their concerns. The association has been persistently requesting payments from the ministry for services rendered over the past 4 years. Members of the group are responsible for tasks such as clearing weeds and unclogging gutters along highways and performing other related duties in various municipalities. Despite their efforts and work performed since 2019, these contractors have not received reimbursement from the government through the Highways Ministry. Vice President of the Single Man Contractors Association, Samuel Kwesi Boche, revealed in an interview with Citi News that the attempts to reach the sector minister, Kwesi Amwakwata, have been unsuccessful.
The following week, I called the chief engineer, and he told me that he has forwarded that report of the meeting we had with them to the minister. But unfortunately, there's no money. We have been to his office on several occasions without meeting him. So we planned to go to his house. And when we went to his house, we were told he has traveled. And the people there don't know when he will come. In fact, we were not happy with that statement. So we have to wait outside for over 2 hours. And then later, we wrote a note and left it. The next day, we heard he is in the office in the afternoon. We heard he has come to the office when we checked. So I called our organizer to call him and ask him about the meeting we had with the chief director and the other officers. According to the organizer, he called him on several times and the man didn't pick the phone.
Mr. Pochie further said most of the contractors have gone into hiding as they are being chased by their creditors.
All our workers are now home. Look at me. This morning when I woke up, the letter I have to share it to the children. They are going to school. And I have been left to my fate. When you called, I was in the room. I've not been able to come out of ASAP now. And look at the corner our contractor has put in this. And now our workers are in the house. Some of my colleagues haven't paid their workers and they are still chasing them. Some of us were fortunate. We decided on emptying our accounts to settle all the debt we are owing because we know the money will be paid in short time. And look at us now. And some of the workers too are engaged in this sports betting thing. And look at what they are doing to them, taking tithes. A government which takes tithes from people's earnings.
Samuel Kwesi Bochi is the vice president for the Single Man Contractors Association.
From that, let's go to the traders who sell compact discs, CDs. Traders who sell compact discs or CDs and cassettes have bemoaned low sales and the seemingly extinction of the CDs and cassettes industry. They attribute this development to the emergence of digital streaming and downloading platforms. The following report assesses how businesses in this field are coping.
The entertainment and media industry has gone through several transformations over the years, from print media to television and film, and now streaming services. The industry has seen significant growth and development. In the 90s and early 2000s, cassette tapes and video deck were very fashionable, which led to the booming CDs and cassette business across the country. The advent of the Kumawood movies complemented the high peak of business for producers, distributors, and sales outlets. But as the narrative same, the news team visited some selected outlets to explore the cassette and CD business. I interacted with some owners of these sales points, and they say the industry is recording very low patronage as a result of the digital age.
I started 7 CDs there about 15 years.
I have been in this trade of selling CDs for over 15 years, and business was booming in some times past because pen drives were not popular, but for now, sales have been low. I can confidently say that the CDs are not expensive as compared to downloading content onto a pen drive. Another factor to the decline in patronage of CDs is that people no longer have the players at their homes.
And then I can say, dear, I'm sure, and I'm working on a computer word. Computer and buy and
As we speak, we are living in a digital age which has led to a decline in the sales of CDs, but some consumers have taste and preference. Some people still prefer to patronize the CDs instead of downloading onto a pen drive and vice versa.
For Sechi Akumia, he believes that despite the challenges associated with low sales, a motivation from the music and movie awards organizers could keep the few who have decided to remain in this business to have the urge to stay on.
This is painful homework, because there's a music industry. Goes up. And difference by
We claim we have a music industry. We would need leaders in the industry to take steps to address the challenges leading to the collapse of the business. There is little we can do as retailers. It's been 22 years since the inception of music awards, but no retailer has ever been awarded. If there's a motivation for the retailers to join such awards, it may keep some of us in the business.
Just encourage it, because at the end of the day, and I music award retailers, and so on your full
Citi News interacted with the general public to find out how they also enjoy music and movies in this present day.
Oh, I've downloaded Boomplay on my phone. So if I buy data, I can look for any song that I like. Any song. If the song comes today, I'll get it at Boomplay. So that's how I've been having my music on. I was having a CD decks, but now, because of I don't like CDs again, I've given it to someone else. So I'm now using the new ones that are in. The Wi-Fi and that kind of thing. That's what I'm using.
I don't remember the last time I bought a CD or a cassette. And about how I enjoy my movies, I download them, I watch on my phone.
Honestly, I don't remember the last time I bought CD or a cassette. If I want to watch movie, I just turn on my telly because there is a lot of channels showing nice movies. It's better than buying CD or cassette.
This particular stretch of the Kantamuntu market used to be a haven for the sales and distribution of CDs and cassettes. But due to the low patronage of these items, some of the shops have folded up, giving way for eatery joints, saloons, and tailoring shops. Maybe the next time you may want to consider a form of entertainment, you may want to choose to patronize a CD or a cassette. Reporting for Citi News, I am Emmanuel Opon.
And in studio, I'm Wilma Wobisa Coleman here with Caleb Kuda. This is still the Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. Still ahead in the bulletin, Ikuapem South Municipal Assembly blames the continuous darkness on the Peduasi Ayimensa stretch to activities of cable thieves. We'll bring you details of that story and others shortly. Do stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You know the now. You are living the now. You feel secure in the now. But what about tomorrow? What happens when you can no longer do the things you love? What happens to your loved ones when you are no longer here? Get Mikakrawa from Prudential Life now and protect your future and that of your loved ones. With as little as 3 Ghana cedis, Mikakrawa covers you in case of death, total and permanent disability, or critical illness.
Fafu this year. Nadal star 778 ash. Oh, I'm telling you this year. Come on this year. Down this year.
See, no one knows tomorrow. No one knows tomorrow. Anything can happen. Once more, you will fit enjoy to sorrow. In such times, we rely on insurance. Charlie, no need to borrow.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Yeah, welcome back. Now, Ghana's anti-corruption efforts to have faced critique for their approach, but some ministries are now targeting corruption within their implementation agencies. Foreign Affairs Minister Shelley Ayoko Boche expressed outrage at passport applicant extortion during an unannounced visit to the passport office. Similarly, in response to a 2021 UN study labeling the Lands Commission as a highly corrupt institution, Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister Benito Owusu-Bio tasked the commission to eliminate Goro boys implicated in corrupt land registration. While broader anti-corruption strategies receive criticism, these ministries' actions indicate a fledgling drive to combat corruption in government sector. We're joined over the phone lines by anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim to share with us what he makes of the recent attempts by government to fight corruption. Good afternoon, sir. Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, what do you make of the recent happenings at the Passport Office and the Lands Commission?
I think it's too early to say anything good about it. We've seen these things happen before. Even under the military regimes, a minister or a secretary of state will go to the place and make all the noise and disappears, and that ends it. You see, it's not enough to just walk there and talk and then without following up on what steps you need to take to ensure that what is happening does not happen again. Change that. You see, society is dynamic and human beings are very difficult to change. Change does not take place just on one day. But it is good that the ministers have learned that they need to work out of their offices. This is the seventh year of this government in power. And are they saying that this is the first time they have heard complaints about what's happening in their offices? So, well, it's a good thing that they have left their air-conditioned offices to go and see what's happening. But this is something that ministers and other officials should be doing on a regular basis. And it's not just enough to go and talk, but now to identify the people who are creating these problems. Encourage people to report such instances so that appropriate action will be taken. Otherwise, we'll go back to square one.
Right. Would you say this is a 9-day wonder?
Well, we are not. It's too early to say that. But I'm just saying that we then need to look at them and try to remind them constantly on what they have done so that they continue to follow. You know, even the late Professor Atames went to the harbors once and said similar things. But you see, has this stopped? It has to be a regular practice. Coupled with sanctions for people found to have gone wrong. And also a proactive approach to encourage people to report instances like that so that you deal with them.
Right. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That was anti-corruption campaigner Vitus Azim sharing with us what he makes of the recent attempts by government to fight corruption.
The Akuapem South Municipal Assembly is blaming the continuous darkness on the Peduase Ayimensa stretch on the activities of cable thieves operating in the municipality. The Electricity Company of Ghana in the municipality in the past 2 months have had to replace components of 3 transformers which were stolen by these thieves who mostly operate at night, an activity the assembly is alluding to be the reason street lights are not functioning on the Peduase Ayimensa stretch. Citi News' Neil Ni Amate Kanaku took a drive on the stretch to find out what drivers and travelers go through at night when using that stretch.
On the Ayimensa Peduase stretch at night has become increasingly dangerous for motorists and pedestrians alike due to the malfunctioning street lights. It is almost 6 p.m. and visibility on the Ayimensa to Peduase stretch is extremely poor. Out of the 120 street lights on the 5-kilometer road, the only functional street lights are predominantly concentrated just in front of the Peduase Presidential Lodge where security is prioritized. This lack of visibility is posing a serious threat to road users, particularly due to the road's curvy nature and regular rockfalls which have been blamed on housing development on the hill. Some motorists who declined talking to cameras were concerned about the seemingly lack of interest on the part of the local assembly and the Ghana Highway Authority to fix the problem. James Abugri is the head of planning at the Akuapem South Municipal Assembly, and he attributes the continuous darkness on the Peduase Ayimensa stretch to phenomenon of cable theft.
So over the years, we have been replacing these street lights that are broken down or that are out of use. That is, we get new ones to replace them. Those that need just chokes to replace, the assembly provides same, and in collaboration with ECG, the assembly members at the community level, to replace some of these broken down street lights. Unfortunately, along the stretch, we happen to see that people cut some of the wires connecting these poles you see in the middle of the road. Most of them, you see that they are falling off. Some of them, you go and you see that wires are hanging And these wires are supposed to serve light to the street bulbs for them to brighten in the night. And so it's a big issue for us in that people deliberately will just go and cut these wires. And so whatever you do by way of replacing broken down street bulbs, you are not able to brighten the place because the wires are not connected. And so that is one challenge we have.
The Ayi-Mensah Pediatric Stretch is a vital section of the National Route 4 and 4, which commences at the Etetekwashi interchange in Accra and traverse through Adenta, Pediasi, Ebri, Koforidua, and Asokori before joining the Accra-Kumasi Road N6 at Bunsu in the eastern region. Spanning approximately 110 kilometers, this trunk road serves as an alternative route from Accra to Kumasi and connects to numerous communities, markets, schools, and tourist sites in the eastern region. Engineer Abdullah Mahama, a road and building consultant who also supervised the construction of the Ayi-Mensah Pediatric Road, explains the danger in having malfunctioning street lights on that stretch.
Talk of East Legon, Adenta, Medina, Ayi-Mensah, Abokobi, Teman, and portions of Dodua or Ajingano, all those areas. It connects them to the eastern region in a very short distance, to Ebri, to Manfi, to Mampong, to Ekropon, that connects you to Somanya and beyond. And they can still connect you from Manfi to the eastern region, as the Kufudia, and even to the Ashanti region. So that area plays a significant role in connecting part of Accra to the eastern part of the country. So it's only proper that the agencies who are supposed to ensure that these street lights are functioning come and make sure that they are installed and start to function, so that we would have less risk driving on that sort of road in the night. One of the importance is that the road is a dual carriage, so there's no any head-on collision that would have happened or occur on that sort of road. But the curvy nature of that area need the light to enhance on visibility and riding quality. So the agencies, ECG and Ministry of Energy, all the assemblies, any institution which is supposed to ensure that this is addressed must do that, and other roads who are in kind of darkness in the evenings. I think this is what we have to do moving forward as a country.
The Equiapem South Municipal Assembly wants the police to immediately intensify surveillance and get the cable theft criminals arrested.
The challenge and the concern, because these are facilities provided for public good and for public use, and miscreants would come, would just cut them and either go and sell, or they just cut them down, we don't know. So we have alerted the police, and the police has been working on it. But the funny thing is that they do some of these things mostly in the night. And so you are unable to be able to get hold of them for the law to deal with them. So it now behoves on all of us as citizens of this country that when you see anybody doing such an illegal act on our poles, you quickly even have to effect citizen arrest. We don't even need to wait for the police.
Neil Ni Amate Kanaku filed that report.
Now, the international relations expert, Dr. Vladimir Enchidanso, is advising Ghana to consider joining BRICS, a coalition of world economies comprising Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. This with more than 40 nations, including Iran, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, and various African countries expressing interest in joining BRICS. BRICS is seen as an alternative to global institutions, largely influenced by Western powers, as these countries hope to gain development funding, increased trade and investment opportunities. Dr. Danso emphasized the shifting global economic power dynamics and the potential benefits for Ghana to position itself advantageously.
As I speak with you right now, not less than 59 other countries have joined the BRICS at the summit in South Africa. What does this say? It says a lot on the potency of the BRICS. If they float their bank very well,
they have a bank. If they float it very well, then the IMF and the World Bank will have no job to do. And then what will Ghana say? Ghana will have no choice but to brace the wind and go with the wind. So it will depend on what government we have and what the BRICS will be able to offer in exchange for what we have now. The hiccuping nature of our economy is just because of dollarization. So we are all trying to save America. America has never seen any problems with their economy. And it's just because the whole world supports the American economy. And if we are able to have an alternative that will cushion us from the hiccups of dollarization, then why not? I strongly suspect that the IMF and the World Bank, which have not been hypnotized under American hegemony or whatever it is, will then have to rethink.
You heard international relations expert Dr. Vladimir Entry Danso, and that's how we enter to news. Citi Prime News live from our studios at Adabraka in Accra. For more news, you can log on to our website, citynewsroom.com. I am Wilma Obubisa-Coleman, and I did this with
Caleb Kuda.
Up next is the afternoon's edition of the Citi Business News. Do stay tuned. Have a good afternoon.